Mike. Coach Blitch, thanks for being with us, man. Assistant head coach, associate head coach, and defensive coordinator, of course, Mike Blitz. And we're blitzing with Blitch to talk a little bit about last week, but to preview the upcoming game against the Ardmore Tigers. Coach Blitch, just overall thoughts about your defense last Friday night.
Thought we played pretty well. Always room for improvement, week in, week out. Obviously, the first half, I was really pleased with our performance coming out that first game. You really don't know what to expect. You don't have a lot of film on teams. It makes it difficult. Plus, you go against your own team pretty much all summer and fall camps. You're not really sure. You get a little bit of camp stuff. You're trying to get guys in and out. So you're really not sure how that unit's going to perform as a collective till you get out that first game one. And it's just hard to say. Sometimes you think you're really good, and it turns out like, we're terrible. And sometimes you think you're terrible, and it turns out pretty good. We played well that first half. Pretty pleased overall with the performance. We gave up, I think, 38 rushing yards on the night. So really good against the run. That second half, we had some guys start getting a little banged up. Jaden Hunt had suffered with some cramps, things like that. We just got hydrated a little better. We had a couple guys get some tweaks and things in that war of attrition, because a lot of our backing guys are playing both ways. And, we're doing some damage offensively, I think, with almost 400 rushing yards. So these guys they're putting in the work. So, took its toll at time that second half, that third quarter. We had a little lull both sides of the ball, and they got back in a little bit. So I think we gave up over 200 passing yards, and I think like 190 of them were in the second half. But we played really well against the run. That front seven really got after it the other night.
Well, so let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about that front seven, because we want to go there for sure. They handled it. If I recall, last year it was just the opposite. PCN really handled us. This year, these guys took it over.
Yeah, we had just tenacious up front with the guys we have. Obviously, Logan coming back, anchoring down that inside nose tackle spot for us, and Jaquan didn't have a big night on the stat sheet, but his presence was felt all over the field. We felt, anytime he gets there and splits from like a 4-eye or a 5-tech and those hands up, he's flushing the quarterback out in the passes. Notice we had, I think Travion had a few sacks there tonight, and a lot of those guys, he's coming off the right side of that defense, where Jaquan, he's over on the left side doing a lot of that flushing, making that quarterback roll out to those guys. So a lot of them are benefiting from his presence over there on the D-line. Jaden Smith obviously had a good night. Cade McKee, all those guys flying around. Riley Story, this kid, sophomore, just a motor on him. He made, I want to say he had, 8 tackles the other night. 7 tackles the other night, and a lot of those are backside pursuit, where he's just relentless effort and running the football. Where those guys are just, they're trying to get that cut back, and they don't expect this defensive end coming from the weak side of the formation to come around and make that TFL and that tackle from behind. But really pleased with the way they communicated up front and played physical. And like you said, last year they had some dudes up there, PCN, that really kind of took it to us both sides of the ball. We hanged in there early in that first quarter, and then they started like leaning on us a little bit. But yeah, I was pretty ecstatic with the way we played the other night, just physically, from a physical standpoint, just in the trenches.
You mentioned just our quickness leading into that game and how that was going to play. Riley's story, you mentioned. He was involved in 6+ tackles through the night, but his presence was huge. Another one that you mentioned that we didn't see last year at all, because he came in, but just such a pleasant kid. Talk about the night that Travion Barber had for the tackles for losses.
Yeah, no, he had awesome night. He ended up finishing a leading tackler for the night at 11 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks, and a pick. He played a little bit of defense in his career prior to this year. He's been mainly a running back type guy, and came in. We have a need at that little Rob Backer safety hybrid spot we have in our defense, kind of a mobile guy that'll go out, do some coverage, and be in the box, do some blitzes and stuff. And so, felt good in the game plan about his speed off the edge versus that matchup with those tackles, and we had that tight end and stuff. So we sent him, pretty often the other night, just to timely shots to see if he get back there, and he hit the pay dirt on it quite a few times with those 3 sacks. Big TFL in one of the outside zones they tried to run over there and their tosses. He was everywhere.
He really was, and what an act! What an accent together with Jaden Smith, the senior coming back. We've seen that kind of play from Jaden for a number of years. How about that big interception he had early on? He really played a good game, solid game, even though he wasn't much on the sack sheet either.
Yeah, and he's a guy that we've seen, like you said, over the years. I know we had a big one last year, Bishop Kelly, huge pick, the same kind of thing, just goes up there and gets it, high points the ball, almost like a rebound in basketball. Had a big one a couple years ago, I think McKelly or McAllister, wherever he was playing, Southeast, I'm sorry. And he's a guy like, we got Travion already on one side that the position he plays, the expectations to be able to do a little man coverage and some drop stuff. The spot Jaden Smith is that's typically more of like an edge setter guy. We kind of rush him. Toby Gray played it in the past. Guys like that are more bigger body, physical bruisers, which Jaden is. But Jaden's also so good in coverage, and like he's got a
Yeah.
knack for the ball. Like that was actually that specific play where actually we bumped him out in man coverage on a wide receiver. And so he covered a wide receiver in man coverage, ran the route for him, undercut it, snatched out of the air, and had a good run back with it. So he's just a special player that we're very excited for his senior year this year and all the things he can do for us.
For sure. And you mentioned, but I'm just so impressed with Jaquan this year. What he's had to put on over the last couple of years to get that motor to where it is now. I think he played 90% of the plays plus.
Yeah, no, he never asked to come out or anything like that. Just his conditioning is just testament. What we've done here, strength conditioning program here, and those guys working with him. It's awesome. I mean, he didn't come out a single play until we had a couple pass rush situations where we knew they had to throw the ball. We took him out, threw some more hybrid finesse guys out there to get a little more speed on the edge. But even one time Jaquan even came off. He's like, Coach, because we played him a lot inside in the tackles there tonight. Like, Coach, bump me out to a 5-tech out there. Let me come off the edge a little bit. He's like, I'm gonna get there. So he was flushing those quarterbacks all night. Like I said, we just talked about Travion. A lot of that is a testament to Jaquan because Jaquan's on the opposite side of the defense, and his presence is so felt. Like he may not get a lot of the stats on there, but he's making a lot of those plays without getting the tackles for it. He's flushing that quarterback out, and here comes Travion speeding off the edge over there as they run away from Jaquan because when he gets those big mitts up there, I mean, he's pushing 10 feet tall with his wingspan, and that's intimidating coming off an edge for a kid.
Big number 78. You can't miss him out there. And hey, we want to, for a second, we'll be back with some more photos, great photos. But you guys enjoying team meals over at St. Benedict's, and St. Benedict's men last week fed you guys. How was it?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, we had spaghetti, salads, fresh veggies, everything. The kids were, they were feasting. I mean, they came through. They ate so much. We had to slow down. They had to drop some more noodles for us because kids were in there. So it was an awesome thing, and we had to go in there fellowship, with the boys and stuff, and as coaching staff because it's awesome for us, during the season we're so go that it's good to sit down, unwind, have that little peace of mind and that fellowship time that we can kind of relax and just have a good time, talk. The boys joke, we can talk with them, joke with them right before we have a big matchup that next day. So it's a guaranteed way to make sure we got some kids some food in their belly because you never know how kids' home lives are. Guaranteed we get the coaches in there being a presence in their lives, not on the field but also off it, and for us to sit there and fellowship and every now and then have a good message from those guys. So it's really beneficial for us, and we're very appreciative for them.
What a great spot. And St. Benedict's Carnival, of course, coming up the first weekend of October. Probably, I claim it to be the best garage sale in town. Granny's Attic opening up at 9 a.m., festivities at 10, all throughout the day. It's a lot of fun. And these pictures that we're sharing, we want you to know that they can be yours as well as you can sign up from our website and go from the website. You create a little bit of an account. It's not hard to do. It's actually pretty easy to do. And then you gain access to the Smug Mug account, which I think I'm kind of messing up there. This is where I want to go right here, that Smug Mug account. And there are just photos galore ready for you guys to download. Gifts from ShawneeCTV. We want you guys to take advantage of it. And that brings us to, let's see if I'm I am, to Nolan Ward, the quarterback of your team, of your defensive side. He's calling the plays, the senior or the junior calling the plays. And you've said, Coach, he's probably played more football than any other athlete on the field this year. Yeah,
I mean, like you said, he's played so many games the last 3 years, playing a game and a half a week every year, freshman and JV coming up to it, and subbing in last year varsity when he started off the season with all those injuries. I mean, he started the first 3 or 4 games just out of necessity. We had so many guys down as a sophomore. So yeah, he's out there. He's the quarterback. He's the signal caller. He's the guy over there that's going to get him lined up. He's the veteran presence, most experienced in his defense, anybody on the program. So he's the guy that told him, high expectations, high responsibility. So he's going to be that guy that I look to lean on, be an extension of me out there in the defensive staff on that field. And he's also the guy when things go wrong or somebody's missed a line, he's the first one I'm looking for that butt chewing. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get him right. So he's
You don't do that, do you, Coach?
Oh, no, never. I never yell out there. But he got the benefit too of playing alongside and learning from Ryan High the last couple years. So Ryan was that guy coming in that 3 years ago that I was like, hey, this is the dude. It's going to be that guy for us. And he got to play alongside him, learn from him. Ryan was a great mentor, and Nolan's taken over that same mantle and mantra, and he's kind of carried that on this defensive side of being that guy with all the checks and balances, X's and O's, and playing alongside Cade McKee this year. So we're excited about because Cade is that. He's that ooh-rah guy. He's got that energy and that hammer. So, between the two of them, we have a very good interior linebacking core for this year and for next.
Well, we look forward to that. And moving on now to next week as we check out our opponent over at OSSAArankings.com. We're looking for Ardmore, and Ardmore right now is struggling a little bit. They're actually one class lower here as we see Duncan there, who is our week 3 opponent. They are not struggling, sitting at 2-0. But when we go to Ardmore, 0-2, they lost to Altus 22-36, and then they lost 31-41. They're putting up some points, Coach, at Ada. But what do we anticipate from Ardmore coming up for your defense?
It's going to be a tough matchup. We're in the flex bone. So if you guys don't know what that is, just a lot of motion, a lot of ground and pound. They're going to have a little fullback up there tight, about 3 yards, and they're going to little wingback motion. They're going to pound that rock, whether it's inside, outside, fullback trap, some other stuff they're going to do with it. They're going to run the ball about 95% of the time. So it's one of those games that it's ground and pound type game where you got to grit it out. So it's going to be a physical. Honestly, it's probably going to be the most physical game we have on the schedule this year from a physicality standpoint, just because the type of the offense they play. It's not a lot of finesse. There's not going to be a ton of spread or anything like that. There's going to be 11 guys in a pile tightened in there next to the ball, and we're just going to punch each other in the mouth till somebody stops getting up. And that's just how these games are won. That's the kind of ball game they look for and they lean on. They want to shorten the game with the run game with the clock and keep it burning. Limit your possessions offensively. Make sure you can't have a lot of mistakes on the offensive side, because you're going to have. Where last week I think we had 11 possessions. This would be a game where we have 5 or 6. So we got to capitalize on those possessions, because it's going to be a short game. It'll go quick with the way we run the ball and the way we're running the ball this year. Testament last week, 400 yards. This may be a game that usually they're 2.5 hours, maybe a 90-minute ball game. So you just never know. So they've got some big tackles. Now, this is the same team that 2 years ago, we were in that 14-14 dogfight. We had those 2 pick sixes to get that first win in a couple years here at Shawnee. Those kids were all freshmen that year. Those kids are all now still here. They're juniors. That quarterback who was a freshman and a sophomore the last 2 years, he's going to be a junior this year. Talented kid, can throw about 55 yards in the air. They got 2 6'5" tackles, a 6'5", 340, a 6'3", 225, I think it is. So some big boys at tackles, some more guys who can down block inside. Really fast. Number 27 is extremely fast wing back. They'll get him out there, do a little rocket toss action on the edge, let him get the edge on it, use that speed. And they've got a sophomore receiver, number 15, that's pretty good deep threat. He's a fast kid, got some size to him. So they're going to try to lull our back end guys to sleep by running the ball a ton inside, get us, a little lax, playing that run a little too aggressive, eyes in the backfield. They're take a couple shots downfield, try to string us out, hit on a big one, and that's what they did against Ada early. But you see that they're putting up points, and that's the biggest thing. So we're hoping we can slow that down. We've had some success last couple of years. I think we gave up 14 2 years ago and 7 last year. So we've matched up well. The biggest challenge for us this year is going to be the different personnel groupings we have, where last couple of years we had a lot of bigger bodies on that line. So we're probably down 800,000 pounds as far as where we were a couple of years ago, as far as the bodies we were able to roll out there in the defensive line consistently to the guys we have now. We're more of a speed finesse team this year. So we're gonna have to do, some different things to try to attack that offense and what they want to do, be disciplined with our eyes and those young linebackers who are still getting that experience. as far as all the motion and misdirection they're going to have. And biggest thing is be physical, because like I said, it's going to be a rough ball game where it's just, the whole night. So we got to make sure we just keep towing the line there and up front, which, last week did pretty good. So hopefully we carry that over to the week 2.
Well, we talked about Jaquan. This sounds like the type of game Logan Skelton is key.
Yeah, Logan's been the big key for this last couple years, where he's been able to anchor that inside. Where, last year we flanked him with Jamar Favors and Keaton Choate, and then Demario, and then like Case Childers, Nokos Wasana, those guys, 5-man fronts. We don't have a lot of those guys this year, but we do have Logan. So Logan's going to be that anchor inside for us. We may move him around a couple of different little spots across that line, but let him be that guy. I mean, he's the guy who can squat, 500 pounds, so he's got that strength, or I think it was 580 pushing 600.
Almost 6.
Yeah, it's almost 600 pounds. So he's got the strength in there to be an anchor and not get rolled out as much on those doubles and down blocks. Biggest thing, they're a big cutting team, so you'll see a lot of that on both sides of the ball. They're gonna cut the O line, they're gonna cut the D line, so you'll see a lot of bodies diving and flying around. So
another big body that we didn't have is Cade McKee. He seems to like to hit.
Yeah, no, he relishes in that. He's been pretty excited this week at practice, coming from over, moved here from Prague. So like he said, Coach, I live in a lot of this. There's a lot of stuff I saw week in, week out. Of course, he was a D lineman. We kind of moved him back to linebacker here at Shawnee. But yeah, he's relishing the opportunity to get in there and fly around and hit some stuff. So he's pretty excited.
Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We encourage everybody to come on down to Ardmore next week, or this Friday. I'm sorry, that's tomorrow night. Should be a lot of fun. Coach, on the offensive side of the ball, you had mentioned we've got a lot of guys who then turn around into your defensive backfield. How do you feel about your defensive backfield and how they performed last week?
Oh, I think they played well. Like I said, we got a little lax in the second half when the injuries started coming in. We got a couple cramps, never great. That stuff we can easily fixable, hydration stuff. We got one guy's kind of coming off a knee thing over summer, so got a little tight on him at times. So kind of rotating him through, finding that depth. That first game, like I said, it's always a war of attrition, trying to get our feet under us and get used to that playing both ways stuff for a lot of these guys. So they'll continue. We can increase with our conditioning and stuff at practice and our tempo to make sure we kind of really gas them, get them used to that flow for Friday nights. So I think they played well. Obviously, a lot of room for improvement. I mean, we gave up like 250 total yards and 200s on the back end. So, there's no sugarcoating it. They completed too many passes on us over there in that second half. Guys in position just weren't making the plays that we, want them to make on a couple of those over the middle balls. So that's going to be a big thing as going forward, is just manage the minutes for some of these guys, load management, make sure we do a better job with rotation offensively, defensively, understanding where we're at game plan wise, and hopefully get some more. He's got a little bit healthy. So that's the biggest thing. And the cramps, like Jaden Hunt, he had a little cramp, he got a little contusion, then had little cramps, then some contusion, stuff like that, where this just minor things just happen, happenstance, bad luck. So that's something that won't be a lingering thing. So having him as an extra guy who's, usually locked in to be a starter, two-way guy. So having him not banged up is going to obviously help that depth. So I think going forward, pretty good spot right now. We just got to continue to manage some of that stuff.
Good. Well, and we want to also, again, have everybody come on out to the St. Benedict Fall Festival, Saturday, October 4th. It's coming up. That's going to be the day after the Booker T. Washington game, for you to kind of put that on your calendar. It's going to be a lot of fun. And always, Coach Blitch, we appreciate talking to you. You're always full of such insight. Thank you very much for the time that you spend sharing with the community. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Appreciate it every time.
Shawnee, remember, all of us together, we build community one season